Casual Friday the 8th. It's coming out on Friday afternoon. Jack McMullen, Peter Apple, Aram Layton, the three of us back together. We're talking about a variety of things. Shohei Otani is the best baseball player that God has ever put on this green earth. What else? Tarik Skubal kind of stinks now. How about that? The commissioner decided to offer some sympathy all-stars for aging super future Hall of Famers, which was pretty interesting. And we've got that going on. We also want to get to the futures game rosters as well. So first and foremost, Peter, how we doing, man?
Doing well.
Nodding? Good.
Doing well. My forehead is peeling like nobody's business. I don't know if you guys can see that on YouTube. I looked like a warm chocolate chip cookie a couple of days ago, and now I'm just the crust is peeling off. I look disgusting, but I feel good and I'm ready to roll.
Yeah, probably delicious too. Aram, how about you, man?
I'm not peeling, but I'm living. It's good. The weather's nice in New York. I'm probably not as good as California right now for Peter, but dude, I cannot express. I don't know if you saw, Jack, when Peter and I had the episode at the beginning of the week. He was so red. Like he was rivaling your hoodie. Now he looks a lot more like normal color or whatever, but guy came straight from San Diego. You'd think he was like just laying in the sun for like 10 hours, which I think you kind of were.
I would like to combat that slightly. I would say more of a bronze.
Okay.
Maybe more of a maroon rather than a straight
bleach.
red. I'm not that white. I mean, I'm a white guy, but not that white. I would say more of a maroon.
Maroon, fair.
So you know what my problem was? Because when we went to Syracuse, like you get the sun, 70 days a year there?
Less.
I think that's
a
real
say
number.
7.
That's generous. Yeah, closer to 7 than
drop
7.
to 0.
It's incredible. So, growing up like Midwest, okay, the sun disappears for a while, but like you still see consistent sunlight in the summertime. I go to Syracuse and, I would like not get super burned. I would get a nice tan going. After my freshman year at Syracuse, came back, went to a White Sox game, and in like the third inning, I was as red as I've ever been in my entire life. Like I forgot how to intake sunlight when I was in upstate New York for college. It was just absolutely ridiculous. Did you guys run into that problem too?
Did you, Aram?
What, just lack of sunlight? Syracuse was, I always thought seasonal depression wasn't real, but.
And then you got to Syracuse, New York.
Yeah. Yeah.
The thing that was good for me is I got to go home. So then you'd absorb some of that Santa Barbara sun. You just go back to Chicago where it's arguably even colder.
Yeah. Sucks.
Listen, it's hot as hell in the summertime, man.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into baseball. Shohei Otani, speaking of Southern California, this guy's a freak of nature. So over his last 3 starts. Yeah, Peter.
No, so I was just going to say, Aram, I want your opinion on this too. The Marlins have at least done pretty well against right-handed pitching this year. And in his last start, he went 7 innings, 2 hits, 10 strikeouts, and looked like God himself. But I was actually expecting, I even think I put it in the group chat, said Shohei Otani might have a little bit of a rough start. It was a travel day for him in Miami. He was traveling almost across the country on the road where he struggled historically in his career. And what did he do? He didn't care at all. It was one of the best starts of the season. So I'm just curious, have you seen that from some guys, like some of the big time pitchers that come into Miami on the road and don't pitch as good as you might think they would, but it's not that he didn't pitch good. He pitched phenomenally.
I mean, he's been like Jack was about to probably get into what he's done the last 3 or plus starts. He's just been locked in. So he's just kind of kept doing what he's been doing, hit his spots and mixed almost every pitch in there. I mean, what do the last 3 starts look like, Jack?
I went to 4 starts because he had 6 shutout innings against Seattle as well. So his last 4 starts, I think I've got the math right here. That's 26 and 2/3 innings. That's 7 plus 8 is 15 plus 6 is 21 plus 5.2 is 26 and 2/3. You've got, let's see, 12 hits against him, no earned runs. 3 plus 5 or 3 plus 2 is 5, 6, 7 walks, and 10 plus 11, 21 plus 13 is 34 plus 6 is 40 strikeouts. So 40 strikeouts in 26 and 2/3, 7 walks, 0 earned runs in his last 4 starts.
And he's the best hitter on the Angels.
He's the best
just
hitter.
On a different level to me watching that start too, because I took the over in his Ks in that one because I was just like, he's going to dice this team up. And the Marlins lineup obviously is a bit decimated right now, even relative to what they are used to. But the location of everything, like he was mixing in all of his pitches and spotting up, and his slider is disgusting. I don't know. I mentioned this, I think on the last episode, but my grandfather literally calls me. My grandfather's 87, calls me at 11 p.m. and just is like, I'm watching this Ohtani guy right now. I never get to watch him because he lives in Florida, about 2 minutes from where my mom lives. And he's like, I never get to watch this guy. Oh my goodness, I've had so much fun. And he just like can't stop talking about Ohtani. And that's, my 87-year-old grandpa. We talk about how someone like Ohtani ushers in like the youth and, can maybe bring in some football fans to like give baseball a little bit of a watch because he's so unique. My 87-year-old grandpa was enjoying Shohei Otani for what he was. So I think that's pretty cool.
Okay, so last year when Peter and I talked to Bob Costas, he said that Shohei Otani was his favorite player to watch in current baseball, right? Because of what he can do. Howard Kelman, who also is the old guard of baseball, brought up how much fun he's having watching Shohei Otani. I think that's a very underrated part of what Shohei is doing right now. Because yes, you look at the eye-popping numbers, you look at the 100-mile-an-hour fastball and the crazy splitter and the good hook, and then you look at the massive power that he has offensively, and you say, wow, these tools scream, let's bring in the young fans. Let's show them the most exciting player baseball's ever seen. But those same tools and the ability to do both also resemble the best player in your ragtag sandlot game, right? Shohei Otani is just the best guy on the field every time he comes out there, because not only is he the best pitcher, he's the best hitter too. And I think that's what the old guard of baseball fan just loves, because he's that pure ball player, but he's also as toolsy as someone has ever been created.
Well, the craziest thing too is Marlins average attendance is less than 10,000 a game. I think it's closer to 9,000 a game. And for that Ohtani start, there was almost 19,000 people in attendance. So almost doubling up, their average butts and seats just because Shohei Otani was playing there. Even that guy can get people to go to Marlins games. I think that says a lot.
And he's going to be very expensive.
Yeah.
That's the problem, because the Angels have the 9th highest payroll of any team in baseball. What are they going to do? Is it asinine to even consider trading him at this point?
Yes.
I think
are they going to sign him for $100 million a year?
Maybe. So here's
got to pay him 50 for the 50 on the mound and then 50 at the plate.
Give him ownership of the team.
Yeah.
Give him equity, dude.
Listen,
how much is that worth for the Angels who can't win?
You got to think about the pros and cons here, though, because obviously he's going to be the most expensive player we've ever seen on an average annual value basis, right? Like he's going to be. Do you think he's a $50 million a year guy?
Yeah,
has to be.
Judge might be a $50 million a year guy if he signs like a really short-term type contract. Like if the Dodgers come out and give him 4 years, 200 million or something like that, and just say, would you mind coming? But then again, he denied 7 years for 230. So I don't know why, but it's going to have to be that sort of deal unless someone wants to give him a 10-year deal. But with Ohtani, you'd probably give him a shorter term deal for crazy amounts of money.
Before you hopped on the Zoom, Aram and I were talking about basketball money and how Nikola Jokic has a $60 million player option at the end of his deal, and Karl Anthony Towns is averaging like $56 million a year. I think we're going to see NBA money with Shohei Otani, right?
Have to. And look at Scherzer. So Scherzer's making 43.333333333.
And he's a pitcher.
Repeating. Yeah,
and he's a pitcher. Repeating.
And Ohtani's almost as good.
Yeah. So just Ohtani needs to be a $7 million hitter. I think he is that. And I know it's not that basic A to B, but it almost is to a degree, it is. Value wise, you're getting that. It's worth it. If you have the money, it's a no brainer. The problem is freaking Anthony Rendon and that money tied up, but they are getting Justin Upton off the books after this year, which opens up some money. And obviously Mike Trout is taken care of financially. But how do you really build much of a team around those two guys when you've already struggled to do that? Now you have 100 million tied up in two players, 135 million if you add in, Rendon. That's higher than, I think that's like a top 15 payroll with just 3 players. How are you supposed to do that? And the Angels have a lot to figure out, because are they going to trade Syndergaard, here at the deadline, or are they going to try and ride it all the way out? I think you have to almost ride it all the way out. So they can never really be sellers and reset. So they're stuck in the purgatory, because you can't burn it down with Ohtani and Trout, but they also don't have the resources to go all in. And now they're just stuck in the middle. And I don't really know what they do. Like, what would you do?
Do you have an answer? Because I don't have an answer, because the rest of their team is garbage. That's the problem. It's like after, even Jared Walsh.
Except for Michael Stefanik, by the way.
Yeah, except for Michael Stefanik. Agreed.
Yeah. And Taylor Ward.
And Taylor Ward. And, Max Stassi is decent. I mean, they got okay guys, but they don't have more elite players yet besides those two guys. And even Taylor Ward has taken a little bit of a step back. Do we expect Taylor Ward to put up an incredible first half and continue that through the second? I don't know. I think that might be a little bit tough for him considering he's never done it before. Wouldn't put it past him. But again, it's tough to predict that.
And you got to rely on Taylor Ward. Like, that's the thing. It's like Taylor Ward should be that like bonus that you're getting, right? The guy that's like putting you over the top, not the guy that you're like, oh, I hope he can contribute. And Brandon Marsh has been a big disappointment too. That sucks because I love Brandon Marsh and I think he's going to be a good ball player, but I think that's the circumstances of them just being bad. I think he's pressing a little bit. I think there's a lot of things at hand here. But it seems like all the guys that you were kind of hoping to make that leap haven't. You mentioned Walsh, like he's good, but not really. If anything, he's taken a half step back this year. And then pitching wise, better, but still not great. And no one's really stepped up in that regard. They're just kind of stuck in the middle, and I don't really know what they should do. I would probably call this season a wash in about a week or so if it doesn't, if they don't get hot, and just cash in on some resources and try it again next year.
And remember,
can you dish out
Syndergaard?
Who else?
I mean, remember
Lorenzen?
We were praising Michael Lorenzen. His ERA is 4.94 right now.
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
I think there's still a teensy bit of value here.
I agree. Jack, the expected stats say he's going to get better.
Oh, great. That's awesome to hear.
But at this
they should
point,
call everybody. Call everybody. I don't know. Have you seen the expected stats?
Look at the lowercase X on pitcher list. Check those out. Give me a ring back.
Time to buy low.
Now it's time to buy low. xERA is a full point lower than his original ERA, but at the end of the day, he has not performed well. And Patrick Sandoval, he's still nasty. I still like him, but again, hasn't performed that well. There's nobody on this team, even Mike Trout. Have you seen the slump that he's been in? He went through 2 weeks of not hitting anything. And when he faced the Orioles last night, didn't do anything again. It's what's going on with Mike Trout. Shohei Otani is winning games by himself. He pitches, and then he's the best hitter on the team. It's a one-man show right now, and you need Mike Trout to be even better than Shohei Otani for them to be really good. And he hasn't been good lately.
So not only has he been bad lately or not good lately, like he's been
dreadful.
Just a different player in a lot of regards. Like zone contact is the number one thing I look at. And he's a guy that's going to always have some swing and miss in his game. It's the way his approach is designed. Like he is never going to miss a pitch middle and down, and he's going to swing through some pitches elevated, but his zone contact is at the lowest it's been of his entire career, which is legitimately just the percentage of pitches in the zone that you swing at that you make contact with. He's been around the upper 80s his entire career,
which is crazy, by the way.
Which is really solid for the power that he develops. 74.9% this year. That's down 10% from his career average. Generally, that's what happens when a guy's, bats slowing down, bad swing decisions, mostly the former. I'm not saying he's, aging and slowing down, but something's not right physically with him, I think. I don't know if he's playing through something. I don't know if his timing's off. I don't know what it is, but he's definitely out of sorts right now, and he's swinging through more pitches in the zone than he ever has.
He hit 5 home runs in a series against the Mariners, and then ever since then, zilch.
It's weird.
Not
so,
good. Jack.
Can I run you through the multi-year spending payroll for the Angels? Because Shohei just turned 28 years old 10 days ago. He enters. Yeah, happy belated birthday, Shohei. He enters his arbitration. He enters his 3rd year of arbitration, even though he signed that 2-year, $8.5 million deal. So he's making $5.5 million this year. He enters his only arbitration year next year. What does the arbitration number look like? I don't know, probably just shy of 20, you think? I think so.
There's no precedence.
There really is no precedence.
I have no idea.
There's no precedent. So it's going to be the highest arbitration number we've ever seen, I think. So Shohei is going to get that, but then he hits the open market here. And what do you do if you're the Angels? Because like you mentioned, there's a ton of money wrapped up here. In 2024, which is the first year that Shohei is off the books, the Angels still have $112 million allocated to guys on the roster. So how do you do that? Do you pay Shohei his $50 to $55 million annually and pump that number up and have the rest of the team continue to suck? Or do you let him walk and go do that? Because the contract that Shohei Otani is going to sign is going to hamper the team that signs him. They can't do much roster-wise anywhere else if you get Shohei Otani, unless you're the Dodgers or the Yankees or the Mets and you don't give a single shit about money.
The thing is with the Angels, if they lose Shohei Otani, what is this team?
Yeah,
I mean,
nothing.
They're terrible.
They're still nothing.
Do they consider trading Mike Trout? I don't mean to get crazy, but at some point, you have to just drag it all down. Aram, tell me how bad this farm system is on top of this.
It's not great. Their pitching's better because they've drafted 40 pitchers in the last,
It
20
has to
years.
be better.
Last year in 20 rounds.
But even Jack, like,
the system's not good.
Is not performing that well either.
The system's not good. They don't have many bats. They don't have much there. Like that's why I look at it and I'm like, you got to just figure it out. I don't know how. You got to hope you catch lightning in a bottle. You got to hope you find a couple more Taylor Wards and go from there. But they're in trouble and they're kind of stuck in between. I also want to talk about the Jays too, because I think the Jays are in a weird spot as well. Not nearly as bad. But I would say still, if you're the Angels, you have the best player arguably of the modern era in Mike Trout. And then you have the only guy that could probably dethrone him of that right now in Shohei Otani, who's we know what he is. Like you just have to keep trying and they might fail forever, but I feel like you just have to keep trying with those two until you can anymore.
But when can you not anymore?
When they can't, when they suck. I'm riding that out. Like you have to, I just don't know how you can really like optically your franchise is destroyed if you part with either of those guys.
Dude.
You can't.
Is it destroyed? I mean, if you part with both of them and say, you know what, we're going to have a full rebuild. Are you going to lose all Angel fans? Is it done? Or do you think Angels fans could understand we're in this spot? We haven't won with this team anyway. We need a reset. I'd be interested to see. I want to pull some of my Angel friends.
It's I think that's more drastic than Soto. I think if the Nationals trade Juan Soto, they're going to lose a ton of fans, but some will still be there. If the Angels decided to ship off Ohtani and Trout, I can't imagine
they'd have all-time attendance dip. I think it would be.
I almost disagree about the Nationals part, because with the Nationals, you're trading a 22, 23-year-old like unbelievable superstar that should only be getting better. Mike Trout at the end of the day is 30 years old and he's been with the Angels for a very long time now. And Shohei Otani, I get that would be drastic, but at the end of the day, we're comparing nuclear bombs on both sides. I'm not saying one is that much better. I just think if the Nationals were to trade Juan Soto, that might be more drastic than trading and parting ways with a guy making $340 million and Shohei Otani making $60 million a year.
One team's trading Ted Williams, the other's trading Mickey Mantle and Babe Ruth. This is really hard. It's hard for both sides. I think it's harder for the team trading Mantle and Ruth than Ted Williams.
It's crazy.
You know, it'd be a great idea, a good solution. Just building a good team around those guys.
That's a good one. I like that. Scouting,
they should try it.
Drafting,
developing, identifying. Yeah. Here's the thing with me, and this is the last thing I want to say on the Angels is like, why can't you just sign the Mark Cannas of the world? Like where are the, Brandon Nimmo is going to be a free agent, but like, I know he wants to play center, but my point is like, there's some really good players that you can get for 10 to 15 million AAV. Why is it so hard for the Angels? Mark Hanna would be perfect for them. Like infield versions of those guys. Like what we could look through free agency over the last few years. And they've always gone for the home run when they already have the home run there with Trout and Ohtani. Get good complementary players, get good players that balance out a roster instead of just shelling out money for Rendon and trying to build a super team. It's not basketball. It's different. You need balance. You need a good team. I think the Mets have kind of shown that. They didn't just add studs. They also added role players and things like that as well. And I think that's the big issue with the Angels through the years.
And oh, no, I was just going to say, to add to that Mets point, they did give Francisco Lindor $340 million, and he's the fifth best hitter on the Mets right now.
341. Yeah. One more than Tatis. 341.
Very important to him. That's very important to him.
I agree.
Tell me you're self-conscious without telling me that you're self-conscious. I need $1 more million than Fernando Tatis.
Yeah.
But my point there, I was going to put an asterisk next to that because the old guard of the Angels always went for the home run. We have not really seen Perry Manassian get a real crack at free agency yet.
Exactly. And that's the thing is Perry Minasian's inherited a mess, right? Like
Yeah,
he
a
inherited
mess.
the Pujols contract. He inherited Rendon. He inherited Upton. He inherited the farm system. He inherited everything. And this season has been, a disaster. You can't really blame Perry. We like a lot of the moves that they made. I think they gave themselves a shot.
We gave him an A+ in the offseason.
Yeah, we did give him an A+.
I said if not now, when? They
Yes.
look great. But yeah,
never seems. But yes, let's give Perry. When we're talking about the Angels, it's more the franchise as a whole. But Perry Minasian could end up helping with just a change of ideology and a change of approach. Let's see what he does this coming free agency. They will have some money opening up because they don't need to pay Ohtani just yet. Let's see what it looks like this offseason.
We started so positive on Shohei Otani, and then this casual Friday turned into just Halo slander. I mean, just ridiculous. We immediately went down. So let's keep the negative train rolling. Tarik Skubal sucks now. Let's talk about Tarik Skubal here. The recent game log has just been brutal. He went 7 scoreless innings, just 2 hits against him on June 1st against Minnesota. Since then, Tarik Skubal, 7 innings, 3 earned. Fine. Then 4 innings, 4 earned. 5 innings, 5 earned, 4 2/3, 6 earned, 4 2/3, 3 earned, 4 2/3, 5 earned. He was a quality start machine at the beginning of the year, and now he's walked multiple guys in each of his last 5 appearances. His strikeout numbers are way down. The hit numbers against him are inflated, and of course, the ERA is shot through the roof. What's going on here? I mean, he can't get out of the 5th inning recently. That's 3 straight starts that he has not gotten through the 5th.
And he's still rocking. When we overall look at his walk rate, it's about 6.6%. That's actually the lowest rate of his career. But again, these guys who aren't commanding the ball within the strike zone and leaving balls middle, that's the problem. When you look at the heat map on the slider, right in the middle of the zone, 4-seam fastball, it's supposed to be located up, but then there's this big red dot right in the middle of the zone. The sinker, right in the middle of the zone. Changeup, right in the middle of the zone. This is what is killing Jose Barrios. You can have great stuff, but if you leave stuff middle, exactly what happened to Aaron Nola last year, commanding within the strike zone. You can throw a lot of strikes, but when everything is middle and strikes are coming, big league hitters will hit you regardless of how good that stuff is. So in my opinion, what I've been seeing is that Tarik Skubal is just leaving pitches down the middle. He's not walking a crazy amount. He's not like the Matt Mannings of the world who put up a 5-walk performance, or the Glenn Ottos where they walk everybody in sight. But it's a couple of walks here, and it's balls middle, and he gets crushed because his stuff is good, but it's not excellent for him to be able to get away with that.
I think with Skubal too, though, he was one of those guys that has like always rode the fastball all the way up through the minor leagues. Like he was throwing it 70% of the time through the minor leagues, and just, it was such a good fastball that he would just blow it by guys. Then he struggled in the beginning of his big league career because he tried to lean on that fastball heavily, and big leaguers can hit it. No matter how good the fastball is, you cannot throw a fastball 70% of the time because guys will hit it.
Unless you're Spencer Strider.
Unless you're Spencer Strider, who's a freak show. But, and even then, I think guys will start to adjust.
Yeah.
With Skubal, it seems like he's just falling behind hitters more and more. You talk about the walks, over the last, handful of starts. Got to lean on the fastball now. And you got hitters sitting 2-0 heater. And especially if you miss middle, you're even more fucked. But guys are sitting 2-0. Even if you hit your spot, they're hunting elevated heater, and they're going to knock it out of the yard. And that's the problem with Skubal, is he can't really afford to fall behind as much because he's not the kind of pitchability dude that's going to steal a strike with a changeup when he's behind in the count.
Good point.
He's done it a little bit more, but not nearly as much. The slider is great, but again, if he misses over the middle with that when he's trying to steal a strike, guys will still hit that. So he's in trouble right now. I think he's going to work through it, but I think it could be a couple of more ugly starts until he figures out whatever's out of sorts. It might just be a mechanical tweak. It might be a little thing here or there, but right now the command has just gone wayward.
Dude, and how long can he mentally and emotionally survive a couple more rough starts here? Because he's lost 5 straight decisions. I mean, he's 0-5 in his last 5 starts. That's pretty hard to do in this era of baseball.
It's pretty hard to do. If it would be really mentally affecting me if it was Jose Barrios in a playoff race with the Blue Jays. But at the end of the day, it's the Tigers.
After getting paid.
Yeah, after getting paid, he's still just working through it. But I think just to contextualize that game log of what he's done throughout the season. He had a 3.92 ERA in April, started off pretty strong, but then May he was excellent. 31 innings, 35 strikeouts, 1.45 ERA. Then July he was terrible, 5.85 ERA. and then he just got crushed in July. It's just been worse and worse and worse and worse. To Arm's point, I do think he'll get better. But should we talk about another Tigers pitcher?
Erod?
How he's just gone dark.
Yeah, dude. I mean, like, first of all, like, I hope he's okay. I hope everything's
Maybe
good.
I shouldn't have laughed, but it's just weird.
No, it's pretty wild because, like, assuming that he is like all right, how do you not answer your team? Like, so the report was initially right that he was on the restricted list to tend to some internal family issues.
Yeah.
Oh.
John Heyman got a little bit more specific with his report on that, but regardless, I don't know if I can remember a story where a player goes ghost on his team, especially for this long, and also right after he signed an $80 million deal. Just very strange to leave your team totally in the dark there on what's going on. And how did the Tigers even handle that? You show up to his house? What do you do?
I mean, it's a marital issue. And here's what Al Avila said. We've reached out, but obviously he hasn't reached out back. So we're just kind of waiting it out. It is unusual, but we have no choice but to wait it out right now and see what develops as we move forward. I don't know how that works, man. I mean, because obviously marital issue, that sounds terrible. Like hope everything's okay there. And, if it is messy, hope that it gets sorted out quickly and Erod isn't too screwed up by it, because that sucks. And you got to deal with that personal shit. But I mean, yeah, I'm with you. You remember when Derrick Rose didn't tell the Knicks where he was?
That's the first thing I thought of.
Yeah.
But that was like for a day.
It was for a game. He wasn't there. We were about an hour prior to tip off, and the Knicks said they have no idea where Derrick Rose is, and everybody was panicking. And here's Erod going dark for 3 weeks. That's insane.
Well, in any other context in life, man, like, you go dark on your employer for 3 weeks.
There's a search.
Yeah. Maybe I'm being a dick here, but at the end of the day, like, you have to respond. You just got paid $80 million. I understand that it can be a tough road ahead. I understand. So
you got to step away. Just let them know.
Yes, let them know. I mean, a text. Everyone has their iPhone on. What is Erod doing on his phone? Did he throw his phone in the ocean for 3 months? You know it's on him. Everybody's got their phone on you. That's why when you don't get a text back from someone, they saw it. They're just not answering you. That's what Erod's doing. He knows to be like, hey, even I'm having this marital issue right now. Can I contact you in a week? Then at least the Tigers are like, okay, we understand. We'll get this text in a week or something. Going dark after you $80 million, like that doesn't fly. Sorry.
I'm going to use that preface moving forward. I might sound like a dick here.
I might sound like a dick
all the time now.
But I mean, that doesn't fly. And maybe it'll come out and that take will just bite me in the ass because it's way worse than I thought. But like, is it way worse than I'm thinking?
Like, you got, unless he's going through something really, really serious, like mentally, I just don't see how you can't shoot a message like, hey guys, going through it right now. I'll be back in hopefully a month or whatever, or indefinitely. I'm going to be out indefinitely. I need to tend to a personal issue.
What about, even if you're upset with the front office, what about contacting your teammates?
Yeah, no one's heard from
just someone. Just talk to someone.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's that.
Reach out to Riley Green. He seems cool. Just let
Riley
Green
he seems cool. Here's the thing. I've been to therapy. It helps to talk to somebody.
Yes, it does. It does. It's wild. It does.
I highly recommend you don't go dark. But Erod, I don't think he's listening to the Just Baseball show. I think he's going through some important stuff. But you know what? If you got to reach out to a therapist, do it. But I would recommend reaching out to a buddy and talking a little bit. Hey, quick question in regards to the pitching leaderboards on Fangraphs. How the fuck is Kevin Gossman still the leader in F4?
Makes no sense. It almost makes me want to throw the F4 for pitchers out the window because that just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
I don't get it's FIP. Yeah, like it's FIP at 167, but like, so Gossman is 0.3 of a win ahead of Sandy, and Sandy has thrown 123 innings. Gossman has thrown 88 innings.
That's why win probability added is so much cooler for pitchers.
So the reason why is I can tell you, basically it's just the way that the FIP is calculated is really ultimately the biggest thing that you can do to destroy your FIP is walk dudes, right? Because that is a pitching independent thing that you control by yourself. And not that Sandy Alcantara is walking a ton of dudes, but I mean, Kevin Gossman doesn't really walk anybody. And I think that's kind of the big standout thing. The two biggest things that can kill your FIP are walks and homers. Those are the two things that Gossman does not do. doesn't walk dudes, doesn't give up homers. His home run to fly ball rate's like 2%, and his walk rate is one of the lowest in the league. So he's always going to be that one like outlier, that kind of, even though he's really good, he's always going to overperform in the advanced metrics because he's kind of a unicorn in today's game. Even good pitchers give up homers, and we know for sure good pitchers walk dudes. But Gossman is unique in that regard.
By good pitchers, you mean McClanahan gives up homers, right?
Yeah,
got a 16% home run to fly ball rate.
Yeah,
That's
he gives
way
up
too
nudes.
high.
It's coming in
that is
hot.
high.
It's coming in hot, and he locates high. Like sometimes he can just kind of get, and he sometimes
you're
he'll
gonna
leave a
get
slider
beat.
over the middle. But I mean, he's still so good. I'd rather have McClanahan than freaking Kevin Gossman's F4.
So
Yeah,
are
you sure? F4 is usually the tiebreaker for standings, I think.
So what really interests me is Framber Valdez has a 15% home run to fly ball rate. I thought that bowling ball would never get hit out of the ballpark ever.
So that's another funny stat quirk. It's a stat quirk. It's a stat quirk because he has the highest ground ball rate like ever in the history of baseball, I think. And so the portion of fly balls that we have to pull from are so small that when the ball does get in the air, it leaves the yard, and it's a small sample size. So like no one hits fly balls, and the few people that do, they like really caught one and hit it out. So he's got the high home run to fly ball rate, but like the total number of fly balls, I would bet my life is the lowest, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Hey, I've got two more things that I want to hit. The first one is the sympathy all-stars. What was the official word said by Rob Manfred for Miguel Cabrera and Albert Pujols?
Legacy all-stars?
Legacy all-stars. I think that's right.
Isn't that almost like an oxymoron? Because it's isn't that a Hall of Famer?
Yes.
Like all-star is current, the current all-star.
Any active Hall of Famer will get an all-star nomination. They will be an all-star. And Miggy makes sense. Miggy's hitting over 300. Good for him. If the Tigers were going to have one all-star, it's probably Miguel Cabrera. But Albert Pujols, are we serious? Pujols in 45 games so far this year is hitting 200 with a 624 OPS. Why, Rob? Legacy all-star?
Do you think Robinson Cano is going to the AAA Legacy All-Star game?
There's no All-Star game in AAA, but I would absolutely love to see a SpongeBob-themed jersey.
I was going to say
Robinson Cano in the AAA All-Star game.
No, but I feel like the All-Stars from the Tigers should be some of their bullpen guys. Michael Fulmer, Gregory Soto. They've had one of the best bullpens in baseball the entire year. And honestly, it might be a little bit criminal if Miguel Cabrera goes to the All-Star game instead of one of those guys. Like, they deserve it. While at the same time, Miguel Cabrera has had, he's put the ball in play and his batting average is pretty solid, but everything else, I mean, what are we talking about here? Everything else is not very good. I love Miguel Cabrera. Aram, I know you're smiling at me being like, you better not say shit.
No, I know. I'm just,
no, but I understand.
I'm giving you my obligatory. No, he belongs in the All-Star game and he should actually be starting.
You don't think an 063 isolated power is All-Star worthy?
Here's the funniest part about it is Miguel Cabrera is hitting 308. And this is just modern baseball 101.
Yeah.
He's hitting 308 and he's technically below a replacement level player. He's a negative 0.1 F4. Baseball is so fun.
It's so stupid.
Because any other year we'd be like, oh, like career resurgence. If this was like 15 years ago, like he's back. But it is awesome to see him just being like a good hitter still. I know he's not, doing anything crazy, but the fact that he's not Albert Pujols level bad and he's like putting the ball in play and he's hitting 308 and I mean, the power is totally gone. And I think it's part of his plan at this point, right? Like he knows he just doesn't have it like that anymore. So just spray the ball all over the field. He has a ridiculous, like probably some of the best barrel control we've ever seen. And he just flicks the ball wherever. And you know what? I'm here for it because he's just compiling those career stats, adding to the hit totals. I'm cool. You can justify him being in the All-Star game. Like, like we said, obviously there's more worthy guys, but fucking Miguel's hitting 308. Pujols, it's his last year. So like, I get it. But, this guy is literally an anchor to his team. This isn't Jeter getting elected in his last game. His last season. Jeter was still playing every day and was still like a decent player. He was playing shortstop every day.
He was losing defensive runs saved like crazy.
Yeah. Pujols is a platoon DH. Against lefties, which is the lesser half of the platoon. And not even that good.
Justify.
Yeah.
And I've never really liked the fan vote. I'm as like a baseball fan, I've never really liked the fan vote because the American League in 2015 or 2016, it just turned into the Royals infield, right? The National League has turned into the Cubs infield at points. Like that's just how it works when you have a good team and teams just stuffing the ballot box here. And we had a ton of Blue Jays as all-star finalists. And on the final day of voting, Rogers goes down, which is an internet provider in the Toronto area. So chances are there are not going to be a lot of Blue Jays starters because of an internet outage. I don't think that we should be basing all-star starters on internet outages and on fan votes here because, like, again, you have sympathy votes for guys like this. And, I mean, if Albert Pujols is an all-star, who does that knock out? You know what I mean? Like, does that knock out a Brandon Drury? I probably
or
not.
are the Legacy All-Stars bonus?
Yeah, the Reds need one.
Are they bonus?
Are they bonus or does it count from the regular?
I think it's bonus. I do think it's bonus. I think each team gets an extra player.
They just get their own like Camaro that they'll go around the warning track and wave to the fans in.
Yeah, it would not be fair if they took a role from another player. I feel like it's a bonus player, but also just ending on the legacy part. We don't have to end it. We can keep talking about it because it's a hilarious conversation. Shouldn't Adam Wainwright maybe get it? I know Adam Wainwright's coming to the end of his career, and he's actually performed pretty well, and he's still pitching. And I bet he could get 3 outs in the All-Star game and actually perform instead of just kind of wave to the crowd. And if we're talking about age, like Miguel Cabrera is 39 years old, and Wainwright's 39 years old. You know, Albert Pujols might be 60, but I mean, Adam Wainwright deserves it.
Waino's good. Like Waino's is got a 3.26 ERA. Like he's just continues to show
96 innings.
Yeah,
good.
Like that. You could justify that one. I agree.
And actually, I love
Pujols.
Wainwright's 40. Wainwright's even older than Miguel Cabrera.
I almost just think just like call it something else. Like, is this going to go on his baseball reference page as like a little all-star?
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
like that's what I don't like. I want him involved. Don't get me wrong. I want him involved, but like, I don't know. I'm torn on it because I think he's earned it in some regards in terms of his career to like, you know, be a part of this one last time. But I am very torn on what the distinction should be and like what you call it. I will say though, he does have Albert Pujols has a better OPS than obviously El Garcia. So, you know, that's my threshold for all-star.
Is Avi Garcia going to be an all-star this year?
No, I think he's a couple years away from getting that legacy selection as well.
I understand. Yeah, just a couple more years with a 490 OPS, right? What's his OPS sitting at right now? Probably like 540, 550.
I haven't checked. I just know that Pujols has a higher one because I saw my buddy TWM tweet it. Yes.
Yeah.
He tweeted it out with the clip of Logic on stage performing you know what song I'm going to talk about.
Yeah.
But Avi Garcia's OPS is 583.
Oh,
jeez.
Barf.
0.098 ISO.
He puts up some of the worst at bats I've seen from him.
Dude, it's impressive.
I mean,
it's almost like it looks like me in the show. It looks like me in the show. Like
have you seen the percentile rankings?
I'm not looking at it right now, but I assume the chase is 1 percentile. First percentile. Oh wow, he actually got better.
What do you think whiff is?
First percentile.
Third. Hey,
what
do you think walk is?
That's got to be first percentile.
First percentile.
Let's go.
What about outfielder jump in the outfield? Because maybe he's playing a little bit better defense.
8th
outfielder jump fire?
Yeah. 4th percentile.
4th, 8th. All right. I doubled him up. Damn,
what is he good at? Is there exit velo? It's got to be high.
Max exit velo, 98th percentile.
Let's go.
But then
bro.
average exit velo, 30th percentile.
So that's the funniest. That juxtaposition is always funny to me because it's like this guy is capable of being really good, but he sucks. Like that's what those two bars tell me next to each other. Like this guy could hit the ball really hard, but he just can't do it frequently. Oh God. Well, that was fun.
Man.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, last thing for me. Do you guys want to go rapid fire through the futures game roster?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So like I want 2 words, 3 words max from each guy, and I'll rattle off each guy. And like we'll lean on Aram heavy on this, but Peter, raise your finger if you want to add something on some guy.
Sounds good.
Cool. All right. I'm going to run through the National League
excited
first.
For Peter's Jason Dominguez 2 words.
It's going to be like, I'm telling you, we're going to go rapid fire and we're going to get through like all 50 names that are appearing on this. You ready? Okay.
Ready to go.
Starting pitchers, National League. Andrew Abbott.
Awesome.
Mike Burrows.
resurgence, or I don't know, step like next level this year. I love him.
Can you name the team?
Oh, I'll name
too?
the team. Good
Yeah,
call.
give the
I was
team
thinking
too.
about
Yeah.
that.
So yeah.
Good call,
Reds,
Pete.
Andrew Abbott, lefty,
Steal.
pitchability lefty.
Steal is my word. Steal from the draft.
I like that. Mike Burrows. I've seen him. He's an Indianapolis Indian right now.
Exploding.
Stuff ticked up. Mid-90s fastball, gross curveball. He's really good. Cade Cavalli from the Nationals.
He's resurgent. He had 7 perfect the other day.
Ooh, yeah.
I saw him in the futures game. Bowling ball fastball. Bayou. A little
Like
bit of that
100.
Louisiana Bayou.
Yes.
Ooh, okay. Kyle Harrison with the Giants.
Disgusting lefty.
Antoine Kelly with the Brewers.
I don't know anything.
I've also never heard of that man.
Bobby Miller with the Dodgers.
Nasty.
Fuzz, but needs to improve secondaries.
Overpowering is my word for Bobby Miller. Eric Miller with the Phillies.
Interesting.
I've never seen that name before.
Me neither.
Explains the system, I think.
Yuri Perez with the Marlins.
Young prodigy, as Zach McCambly said.
What about the next Sandy?
He could be.
Could be. Jared Schuster with the Braves.
Why?
Yeah.
But actually, fastest worker ever is.
Oh my God, dude. He's Mark Burley. Francisco Alvarez with the Mets.
Muscle hamster.
Thump.
Top prospect in baseball. Diego Cartaya with the Dodgers.
Really good.
Young stud.
Henry Davis with the Pirates.
Same thing.
Going to be great. Get healthy.
Logan O'Hoppe with the Phillies.
Emergent. Out of
Yeah.
nowhere. Catcher can swing it.
Burst onto the scene. Darren Baker with the Nats.
Name recognition.
Yeah, it's because his dad is the manager. Darren, nice guy. He was out on the Cape with me, but I don't think he's a futures game guy. Ellie De La Cruz with the Reds.
Jason Dominguez.
But a better
Everything
version.
Jason Dominguez was supposed to be. Freak.
Ezekiel Tovar with the Rockies.
The next great shortstop. Jeremy Pena 2.0.
Wow, Aram.
Whoa.
With the Rockies, right?
Yeah.
He's got the top 10 Rockies prospects on justbaseball.com.
Tovar
Really good
number 2.
insight. And he's
2023 Rookie of the Year.
Oh my
Wow.
God, dude. Oh my God.
So-
Recency bias.
But
No.
who's going to play shortstop? So is it not going to be Brendan Rodgers? Is he not going to play shortstop?
Tovar's going to yeet that man somewhere else. I don't know what.
that's what it seems
Maybe he
like.
plays second, and then McMahon at third.
I bet he plays second, and then when Amador is ready, which is 2028, right? Although Amador might be ready by 2024,
Yeah.
2025. So we'll see. Miguel Vargas with the Dodgers.
Still underrated.
Yeah, somehow. David VR with the Giants.
Another breakout guy. He's a big leaguer. I think he needs to be replaced.
Interesting. Jordan Walker with the Cardinals.
Wonderkin.
Mhm.
Superstar.
Mason Wynn with the Cardinals.
Wonderkin 2.0. Another freak show.
Cardinals have such a good system.
And a two-way guy. The National League outfield is fucking incredible. Corbin Carroll with the Diamondbacks.
Complete player.
Jackson Chourio with the Brewers.
That is one of the biggest emergent names right now in the minor leagues.
Yeah.
Watch out for him.
Pete Crow Armstrong with the Cubs.
Javier Baez.
Javier, that's the best answer possible. Javier Baez. Gamer.
Best defensive outfielder in minor league baseball.
That catch, by the way,
Oh my God, dude.
insane.
And just to
Oh,
contextualize, Pete Crow Armstrong was traded for 2 months of Javier Baez, and now this is what they're saying for everyone listening about
Yes.
Pete Crow Armstrong. So have fun with
correct.
Was it
Correct.
worth it?
it. Yeah.
Robert Hassel with the Padres.
Arms
But
obsessed.
My gosh. Just 5 tools.
Zach Veen with the Rockies.
5 better tools.
Hell yeah. All right. American League now. Brian Bayo.
Not a great debut, but this guy is one of the biggest steals in international free agency in a while.
You should not be allowed in the futures game if you've ever played in a big league game.
Yeah, I think he's out
I'm
now
with you.
too.
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's like the Olympics, right? Jaron Duran was an Olympian, but he should have been with the Red Sox.
Yeah.
Taj Bradley with the Rays.
Special fastball has been dominant this year.
Hunter Brown with the Astros.
Prove me wrong. I'll tell you that. I did not think he would take the leap this year. Could be a big league arm for them.
Kai Bush with the Angels.
Tough lefty, tough to pick up, deceptive.
How about Wilmer Flores with the Tigers?
Related to Wilmer Flores of
No way.
the Giants. Yes, they're both brothers. They're both Wilmer Flores. One of the nastiest sliders in the minor leagues.
Emerson Hancock with the Mariners.
Pitchability, which is surprising, but stuff starting to come back.
Dude,
is he 97 right now? Is he 97 again?
He's getting back up there, yeah. But the command is way better than I thought it would be.
Bro, he took a little bit from Kirby.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I'm in on him. Jack Leiter with the Rangers.
Special talent.
Enough said.
Fire hydrant. his quads are insane. Ricky Tiedemann with the Blue Jays.
What a quick riser this guy has been. Disgusting. That's going to be the one guy that everyone's like, who is this guy? You know, like when we were at the Futures game, there was a couple guys that Peter and I were like, whoa, he'll be that guy this year.
Cade Cavalli was that guy at that Futures game. It was, whoa, this guy throws fuzz because it's 100, but we saw Luis Medina too. It was different hundreds. It was harder. It was faster. Tiedemann. I saw it with my face.
Jay's
with
Tiedemann.
With
your
my whole face. My whole face saw it, not just my eyes.
Damn,
my mouth,
bro.
I could feel it. I could hear it, everything.
Yeah, all five senses firing, including the sixth sense. All right, Aram, no words from you on this one. Ken Waldachuk with the Yankees, Peter.
I think he could be a good 3 in a rotation, but I also think there's a possibility that the Yankees trade him at the deadline because now he's at the top of his kind of thing, and that's what the Yankees do more often than not because the Yankees have the deepest farm system. I was only held to 2 words. How about I think he could be better than Jordan Montgomery.
Okay.
Arms giving me the nod.
Yes, I agree.
Okay. He's nodding. I've never heard this name before. Yasver Zulueta with the Blue Jays, Aram.
You got me stumped.
Dude. I know a lot about him.
Catchers, Yainer Diaz with the Astros.
Honestly, came out of nowhere, but surprised that he's a Futures game guy.
Yeah. Dylan Dingler with the Tigers.
Athletic catcher.
Yeah.
Funny last name.
Varsho Light.
Light. I like that.
Catcher with speed. He can play center. Shea Langoliers with Oakland.
Centerpiece in the Olsen deal.
Wow.
Yes.
Over Pache.
Shea's like good, that. Man. Peter, when are you expecting Shea to debut? As soon as they dip off Sean Murphy at the deadline?
Yeah, I think Shea Langoliers will be in Oakland A on August 1st.
August 2nd, the deadline this year.
True. Yes, you're right. August 2nd. No, but he'll be already up there because Murphy should be gone before.
Yeah, he'll be getting his feet wet already. He'll say what's up to Sean on the way out.
Also, I'm going to say this for the 85th time on the Just Baseball show. Guardians, can you go get a fucking catcher, please? Sean Murphy, Wilson Contreras, please.
Please.
I would like Sean Murphy.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I mean,
fire.
Wilson, obviously, Wilson would be better, but I would kind of like Sean Murphy in Cleveland.
Makes more sense long term for them.
Anything's better than Hentages or Henches. Hentages.
Hentges is the pitcher. Hedges is the catcher.
Yeah, Hedges. He can't hit. And I'm watching all the Guardians games. It's just a hole in their lineup, and they could be so much better with a thumper of a catcher.
They might be better off DHing for Hedges and then letting the pitcher hit.
Yes, Sam Hedges, Austin Hedges, same thing.
That'd be good. Hey, one of the best prospects in all of baseball right now, Gunnar Henderson with the Orioles.
Yeah, Aram, can you explain that to me real quick? I feel like he just shot up rankings so quickly it's not out of nowhere because we always knew he was a really good prospect, but like you go to MLB Pipeline and you see him at 5.
He's a freak.
And I think to myself,
5 was nuts.
Whoa.
So,
right?
Last year he was a popular breakout candidate and just didn't quite break out. Showed flashes, overall the numbers were good, but didn't quite break out. And then this year just kind of kicked it in that gear. Younger guy for his level, just putting up power, contact, and then playing good defense at short. It just kind of was one of those things where everybody's like, there, he finally figured it out. He finally put it all together. And it was like, ready to go. Okay. So I think it was one of those things where it's like, he always had these expectations and didn't quite get there last year. Michael Harris was kind of in the same boat. Everyone was expecting Michael Harris to break out last year after what they were hearing at the alternate training site, had a good year, not great, and then exploded this year. And it was like, boom, he's in the same boat. And I think everybody's right with how ridiculously high they are on him.
Yeah. Curtis Mead with the Rays.
Underrated one of the best hitters in the minors.
Yeah. Pot-bellied. What is it?
Bizarre pot-bellied prospect, I think is what Fangraphs called him. He's a normal-looking dude who rakes, and I think he just hit his 15th home run the other day.
Johnkency Noel with the Guardians.
Masher who walks up to 50 Cent with big chains.
How right were you on him at the beginning of the year?
Last year.
Are you taking your victory laps on Johnkency Noel yet?
When he hits one 530 feet in the futures game with that big league baseballs, I will take my formal victory lap.
Okay.
Love that.
Cool. Nick Prado with the Royals.
Slowly heating up, but should be in the big leagues right now. But in terms of like, should be hitting enough to be there.
I've never heard this name before. Ceddanne Rafaela with the Red Sox.
Red Sox emergent guy came out of nowhere. Bowman. He's a big Bowman guy.
Bowman. Spencer Steer with the Twins.
Power added. That was the thing. He could always hit. Now he got power.
What you feeling about Volpe, Peter, with the Yankees?
Volpe's heating up again. He's been really, really good lately. And when I saw Anthony Volpe below Gunnar Henderson, I thought to myself, do we really like that? Because Volpe had that amazing breakout season last year, started off the year slow, and since then has got an OPS near 1,000, at least in the last month. Volpe is the shortstop of the future for the New York Yankees. And when I say Ken Waldichuk may be traded, Volpe again traded for nobody. He isn't going anywhere. But then they also have Oswald Peraza, who also should be in this futures game because he's in AAA and he's got a better glove than Volpe and he's hitting. So the Yankees have two of these guys. Then they got Trey Sweeney. I could go for hours. I'm done.
The American League should just be the Yankees for the futures game.
Agreed.
Man, and the Guardians. Denzel Clark with the A's is the first outfielder.
I never knew who this guy was ahead of the year, really, and he's been interesting. The A's here's how it works. They ask teams who they want, and teams give their short list, and then they pick from that short list. So for whatever reason, the A's want to propel Denzel Clark a little bit, but he can swing it. He's got some power.
Oscar Colas with the White Sox.
You tell us.
Tell us, kid.
No, you tell me, Aram.
Big pop, doing better than I think a lot of people thought. Put up numbers in Japan. No reason to think that he can't do it here.
Yeah. Yason Dominguez with the Yankees.
Have not heard of him.
Arm's a hater. He has.
Are you a hater too? Be honest.
No, I mean I was a hater with Arm. I mean it was hard not to be a hater. You get called Mickey Mantle, and then you come over, and all of those so-called tools, they weren't looking like real tools there. But he's hitting much better lately.
Yes.
And that's a very good sign. I think Colby dropped in. He's got a 132 WRC plus. He's walking as much as he's striking out, and he's still really young. You know, maybe that was just he's grown into his body because
he's a good prospect.
He's a good prospect. I think that's what we have to realize. He is he's a very good prospect who I think should be on all top 100 lists.
He's on ours,
yeah, and as he should be. And you could argue he should be top 50, but he won't be a transcendent, incredible player. But I do think that when it's all said and done, we're looking at an above average big leaguer with Jason Dominguez.
Yeah, fair. George Valera with the Guardians.
Better than
Superstar.
Jason Dominguez.
Superstar. In every way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then last one, Matt Wallner with the Twins.
Masher. Where did this guy come from? He is murdering baseballs.
He was a really good player at Southern Miss. He was really, really good. And
Southern Miss Masher.
Yeah, I mean,
I love me those Mississippi Mashers.
He was that 6'5" lanky outfielder that just hit the shit out of the ball, and here he is finally doing it in minor league.
Making enough contact now too. This is a loaded futures game on both sides. I mean,
I'm gonna watch the hell out of it.
All 7 innings.
I'm gonna be there in person for the futures game. I'm also gonna be there for the Derby, and I'm gonna be there for the All-Star game as well. That's why I'm in California right now. You'll see me at the home run derby trying to catch fly balls in the outfield, and at the futures games just marveling and texting on me like, who in the world is this freak of nature?
So the outfield tickets are more expensive than the foul territory tickets for the home run derby, right?
Definitely. I'm gonna get nailed in the head.
I think you should, like, for the content. I would say if you make a catch, No, everyone catches baseballs. It's not that cool. In a home run derby, if you put your hands behind your back and just wear it off the head, people are gonna be like, "This guy's a psycho."
Dude.
You'll go viral. And
Yeah,
really,
you
it
will
just
go
boils
viral.
down to how much do you care about this business and how much you care about just baseball.
You know,
Put
when,
your hands behind your fucking back
you know what Happy
and
Gilmore-
wear it off the head.
No, do the Happy
364 more
Gilmore
days
thing.
till hockey season. Remember that quote? Just wearing it in the batting cage. And also, maybe I'll just challenge Zach Hampel. I'll just be like, I bet I catch more fly balls than you. You
Let's
freaking
go.
weirdo.
Let's go.
Freak.
Yeah. Push his ass out of the way. That would be awesome.
How crazy. We just got a text in our group chat in the Just Baseball chat. Who the fuck is Ceddanne Rafaela from Colby? Who knows the Red Sox system like the back of his hand? Rafaela can swing it, man. He's been mashing through OA and has been keeping it going through double.
Colby's a casual. What can I say?
Yeah, cash.
Mega casual. All right, guys. Everybody enjoy the weekend, and Aram and I will be back to talk to you guys on Monday. Cool.
Cool. Also, join our chalkboard group chat. That's in the episode description, and use code JustBaseball for prize picks to get a full deposit match. Follow us on all of our socials. Those are linked down below.
Sweet. And with that,
Thank you, everybody.